Hi, I am Girish Kishnani, and you are watching 5-Minute Learnings. Welcome to the 15th video in the series on cognitive biases. Today, we'll explore the social desirability bias. It refers to the tendency for individuals to answer questions in a way that presents them in a socially acceptable light, often by overreporting positive behaviors or attitudes and underreporting negative ones, even if it doesn't reflect their true beliefs or experiences. Primarily driven by the desire to appear favorable to others or avoid social disapproval, it is a type of response bias commonly seen in surveys and interviews, especially in self-report questionnaires. It can also affect the validity of any behavioral research, particularly if participants know they are being observed. While social desirability bias may stem from the nature or setting of the experiment, the desire to act in a culturally appropriate and acceptable manner is deeply rooted in human nature. For this reason, the mere presence of a researcher or other participants may trigger some level of socially desirable responding. It is inherent to conducting human-centered research. However, individual respondents may also have their own reasons for wanting to be perceived a certain way, for example seeking approval or desiring praise, as well as expectations regarding how their behavior will be evaluated by others. In general, there are two types of social desirability bias. Self-deceptive enhancement. This bias occurs when a respondent believes something to be true when it is not. In this case, the respondent is neither aware of portraying themselves positively nor consciously trying to, but does so nonetheless. Impression management. On the other hand, impression management occurs when people are aware of their overconfident self-appraisal and intentionally seek to align with social or group norms to avoid negative evaluation or judgment. Social desirability bias is one of the most common sources of research bias. It leads to overreporting of socially desirable behaviors or attitudes and underreporting of socially undesirable behaviors or attitudes. As a result, reported answers will differ from true answers. Socially desirable responses can bias results in three main ways. It can create a spurious correlation between variables, making them appear to have a causal relationship when they do not. It can hide relationships between variables by acting as a suppressor. It can alter relationships between variables by acting as a moderator variable. Unfortunately, it is often not possible to fully prevent or remove social desirability bias from research. However, it is important to identify and control for its influence. It is likely to occur in research designs that use self-report measures, studies involving personal or sensitive topics, situations where subject anonymity is compromised or not guaranteed, instances where subjects expect their responses to be judged by others, situations where participants belong to similar social groups as the interviewer. Several strategies can help reduce social desirability bias in research design. Anonymity. When asking about sensitive topics, anonymizing results may lead to more truthful responses. Wording. Be mindful of leading questions that could influence respondents' answers. The phrasing of questionnaire items can trigger socially desirable responses, even among respondents who do not typically answer in such a manner. Self-administered questionnaires, allowing respondents to complete questionnaires privately, without the presence of others, may yield more truthful answers. Online surveys or questionnaires are particularly useful in this case. Indirect questioning. Indirect questioning asks respondents to answer structured questions from the perspective of another person or group. The idea is that indirect questions reduce social desirability bias, as respondents feel they are providing information based on objective facts rather than personal opinions, thereby projecting their attitudes into the response situation. Force choice items. A force choice question requires respondents to provide a specific answer without giving a choice of not responding. For example, choose an item that best describes them, choose the most and least descriptive item, rank all items within the block. Social desirability bias can be detected and measured using two methods: social desirability scales and item desirability scales. Several social desirability (SD) scales have been developed to detect and measure socially desirable responses in data collection. These include the Marlowe-Crown Social Desirability Scale, the Martin-Larson Approval Motivation Scale, the self-deception questionnaire, SDQ, and others. After checking for correlation with social desirability scores, researchers can reject data from subjects with excessively high scores, outliers, correct data from high scorers, acknowledge the impact of social desirability bias in research findings. Item desirability is measured by asking subjects to rate an item, a question or a statement, on a desirability scale. For example, if being happy is an item, subjects indicate how desirable it is to them. This rating is added to each question in the survey. However, adding a rating to each question can be impractical for long surveys, as it effectively doubles their length. Alternatively, using pre-existing content scales tested for social desirability bias may help reduce response bias. That's all on social desirability bias. In the next video we shall explore normalcy bias. Hope you found this video helpful. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up, and follow or subscribe to my channel 5-Minute Learnings, and do remember to hit the bell icon to get notified on new content. Thanks for watching.